Okay, I'm just going to get right into this. Back in March 2017, I deleted my YouTube channel and pretty much disappeared off the face of the earth for a couple of months, for lack of a better way to describe it. Why I left YouTube was a culmination of reasons. One of them was work was really starting to pick up. There are some days where I take off at like 6 or 7 in the morning, don't get home until 6 or 7 at night, and with that kind of schedule, and considering how unpredictable and crazy my schedule can be, it's difficult to schedule time to hang out with friends and hang out with family, let alone make time for YouTube ventures or even personal projects anymore. Hell, even my artwork and such has been sidelined here recently. It's only been it's only been more recently that I've been able to get in a couple of doodles a day, or have been setting aside chunks of time to get some time alone or doodle and stuff. That's one part of the equation. Another part of it, I'd say that March was around the time that YouTube's new direction was becoming more prominent. Their whole, for lack of a better way to describe it, the YouTube bubble burst. What I consider the YouTube bubble, you have 2006, 2007 time frame, when people like Ray William Johnson and all these other big YouTubers were able to make a living off of what they were doing. People could make a fairly decent income, or even carve out some kind of job from AdSense, or just through YouTube by itself. But then, speed up to March 2017, if anyone's still making a living on YouTube, YouTube isn't their only resource. It's not their one platform. It's just one of several different platforms they're on. They're teamed up with sponsors. They have Patreon. They've got something going on besides just YouTube itself. And there's also that whole YouTube or networks cutting people, the whole business with Maker, the drama with bigger YouTubers like PewDiePie or whatever else, advertisers dropping Google left and right, being a bit more sensitive or hesitant to put ads in front of certain videos because of quote-unquote controversial content. I'll just start right here. I had difficulty figuring out whether or not I was a part-time YouTuber, in other words, whether or not I considered this some kind of job, or if it was just a hobby. I was always straddling the fence and somewhere in between. You could call YouTube some kind of job. Not a very lucrative one. I'll be brutally honest and say that I'd make a lot more working 15, 20 hours a week part-time at a minimum job. But the fact that I was making any kind of money, that there was a rare occasion where somebody would actually go out of their way to commission me to make a video about a character or a ship of some sort. There is some kind of set of expectations, or something that, I'm just going to frame it like this, as my personal belief is, as soon as money enters the equation, you do owe your viewers something. You owe your clients or customers something. You need to give them some kind of process or some kind of progress report. What's going on with what you're making, what you're doing, how your latest video is going. Get to the point where you have some kind of consistent schedule. I started thinking about this and I've never been able to do that. I've never really been consistent with YouTube stuff. There might be one video a week, maybe two, and then a couple of weeks without a video. And I always chose a random day and an incredibly random time to upload at that. That kind of flexibility works for somebody that's a hobbyist, but considering that I was so close to being able to, I guess I kind of took a few steps back and started thinking, this is some kind of job. Do I want to go further with this? Or what do I want to do from here? Can I see myself as a content creator 10 years from now? And the more I thought about it, I hated the idea of just being known as the romance Scrooge for another 5-10 years, carving out some kind of entrepreneurial venture where I'm best known for discussing the hypothetical love lives of cartoon characters. I just couldn't come to terms with that particular idea, or it bothered me on some kind of level. And the way things were going, I saw it as I had to cut something out. I didn't have a lot of time to work with. There was going to be something that was going to get cut. Since I was heading in a different direction, I'm still trying to break into a specific career or a specific job title to parse things down to where that's a major thing I do. And I guess it just came down to YouTube was a thing that I decided to cut. At that particular point in time, it made the most sense to me. I didn't really have the time for it. I didn't really want to deal with what kind of hoops and whatever else you have to jump through to make any kind of income as a YouTuber. I was making peanuts doing YouTube stuff compared to everything else I was doing. I had more lucrative quote-unquote side hustles, or something that sat between hobby and part-time job. For example, there's one thing that there's an app that I look at every so often, and have made up to $100 doing side stuff, just from 20 to an hour-long stints, just because I've been fairly proactive with it, and teaming it up with all the other stuff I do. Just, part of it was, I wasn't quite sure what to call myself as a YouTuber, and I considered it a job at that particular point in time. I didn't like the idea of it being a job. And considering that now, I don't think I made the right decision. I think, if anything, the fact that I got cut from Maker was a blessing in disguise. Yes, I was teamed up with Maker. I was one of the many content creators that was axed. Over the past couple of months, I'm just gonna outright admit it. It was freeing to get away from YouTube. And okay, I might as well discuss the other part of this particular equation. When someone's a YouTuber, they're a public figure, to some extent. They're a public figure. They're an icon. They're some kind of celebrity. Even if they're a small peanuts guy like I was. Even if they're that small. There's some element of, there's people looking at everything you do, judging every action you make. And the ridiculous part of me was looking at what was going on with the bigger YouTubers, that they can make one wrong move, and there's articles written about them, there's people lambasting them and getting upset with them, and just all the criticism and backlash that was coming against them. The ridiculous part of me was wondering, there's gotta be at least a couple of crazies that go out of their way to try and bring that dimension of that person's life to their real personal life. That the two would intersect, that YouTube crap would interfere with what somebody's day-to-day life was like. Just, I guess I sat down and started thinking about what decision I'd made or what I'd done. I should have just gone on a hiatus instead. I should have just said, I need to figure some personal stuff out. I need to rethink where I'm going with YouTube stuff. And I'll be back when I've got it figured out. At the time, I honestly thought that I'd be willing to give it up. That I was ready to be done with content creator. That I didn't want that title. That I wouldn't be able to handle what responsibility or consequences or whatever else came attached with it. The more I thought about it, though, the more I thought about, I just finally figured it out. Finally figured it out that this is a hobby. If it ends up becoming some kind of part-time job, fine. what is so wrong about the idea of being somebody that makes a little bit of money from discussing the hypothetical romances or love lives of cartoon characters? I greatly admire content creators. The fact that somebody can create or carve out some kind of living for themselves, discussing a topic that they're passionate about, that they can make some kind of money from it. And over the past couple of months, it seems like me as somebody who works in an unconventional career or unconventional job, that's going to be the case no matter what I do. It's the unconventional stuff that works. I've tried the conventional route. I've tried to be a cashier. I've tried to get into retail. I've tried to do things a conventional, traditional way. It doesn't work for me. I guess part of the personal thing here, or why I dropped YouTube, was because I wasn't sure where I wanted to go or what I wanted to do. It's the same thing that happened pretty much after I graduated from college and had a degree in art and thought that it was useless, just a useless piece of paper. Trying to figure out, what do I do here? What do I do with this set of skills? Is this really going to get me anything? Is this going to get me anywhere? Thinking that the only way to quantify how much time a person spends on something is whether or not it results in making a living from it. That the end goal has to be a full-time job with benefits or something like that. No, it doesn't necessarily have to be that. When I thought about it, I'm okay with not making any money from YouTube ventures. I'm happier if I'm not worried about looking at it as a part-time job or any kind of job. More like making time or carving out time for it when I have it, when I feel like I have something to say. Somebody told me that that's how I should have approached it. They told me the entire time that this was a hobby and that I should just shelve it from time to time, that I shouldn't dump too much time into it, that I should go about it at my leisure. I should have listened to them. They were right. I'm sorry for all the nonsensical rambling, or all the rambling here. There's no cohesive way to put this. I guess the short version of it is, I screwed up. I screwed up royally, and I don't know if I can ever fix that. But I'm back, and I'd at least like to try. I'm sorry for not making this video sooner, or at least explaining where I went, except for a short post I made on Tumblr. I should have just made a YouTube video. I should have just left my YouTube channel up. There's a lot of stuff I should have done. I know an apology probably isn't going to cover all my bases, or really cement what I should have done. I'm just going to try to move forward from here. Figure things out, try to make up for it. I suppose that's the best I can do.